Hello, Aries. Gotta have the wink in there. And welcome to February 2021. I hope you have been taking really good care of yourselves. And that's actually why I'm here to talk to you today. Lo and behold, that I would come on here to bring some words of soothing and calming. This month is I'm very intrigued by it. We have not experienced energy like this for a long time, but we have just a huge meeting of energy in Aquarius this month, like wild. So of course we have Sun, Jupiter, and Saturn moving through, and the Sun will be there until the 18th when it moves into Pisces. We also have a Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, Venus in Aquarius, a new moon in Aquarius. So we're not messing around here with the Aquarian energetics. For you all, this is somewhat supportive energy. It has to do with how you are connecting into your community, into the bigger picture, how you are allowing others to connect and nurture with you and not just doing things alone as the starter Aries that's ready to get things going all on your own, holding all the burden. It's releasing some of that. The other message that came through, so we start with your 11th house this month, and then as the month progresses, we get into Pisces season. The Sun moves there, Venus moves into there, and we have a full moon in Virgo in your 6th house. Once we get to the end of this month, we're getting into really spiritual territory for you. And there was a really strong message that came through for Aries, and this one comes through at least a couple of times a year for you all, because life is about not just like embracing who we are and being really like harsh on our category and saying, this is the sign that I am, this is just who I am. It's about how we incorporate different elements and we learn from all the different archetypes and all the different energies. So this is one of those months where you're being asked and invited to slow down, to breathe, to nurture yourself, to notice where when you feel kind of frazzled and rushed and you just want to get on something, where you may be like, you're in the midst of a project and then you end up like breaking off an edge of it because you feel really like you just want to get in there and do it. And believe me, I relate. I'm a fire sign as well. I want to get in there and do things. In fact, I was doing this project with these lights that I was hanging in my house, and one of the bulbs was burnt out. So I just decided, like, I'm just going to replace it. And I was really impatient. Of course, I broke it. I messed up the whole string of lights. I had to spend all this time, like, working on replacing bulbs. But if I had just taken 1 minute to maybe just savor the process of creating those lights and just gently taking that bulb out instead of feeling like I just needed to be on my task, I would not have had to go through all that fixing, right? And it was a big reminder for me of where I get agitated and like ready to go, and where I cause myself to actually have a lot more work in life because I'm just ready. So that's kind of the message that came through, noticing where when you're feeling like you got to rush because who else is going to take care of it? How else is it going to get done? Noticing where that can sometimes tangle you up or trip you up. This is a big month of review. With Mercury retrograde in Aquarius, it's helping us integrate how we are going to work with Jupiter and Saturn the rest of this year in Aquarius. 5 of Swords, man, that card is just letting it come out. Self-trust. Self-trust. Can you trust yourself to be kind to yourself? 2 of Swords. The heck? Okay, yeah, there's some review. There's some really deep introspection going on here. 8 of Wands. Isn't that funny? Look at that. I just love this conversation right here is it. This is it. This is the golden ticket of life, I swear. I love that. Just noticing where you make more work for yourself, more heartache for yourself by feeling like you've got to be on the case all the time. This month with Mercury helping us anchor in all this other Aquarian energy, it's a really great place to look from an eagle's eye perspective. And the moon, listening to a deeper, quieter, more nurturing voice as we navigate this month. Aquarian energy is good. Yeah, it's eagle's eye because it's going to give you that vantage point to like zoom out and look at the picture, what's working, what's not working. And eagle's eye is also very, it's a predatory bird, so it sees. It's very piercing gaze, can see. And That's very much the energy here. We are really doing, and I mean, this is everybody is doing this work. It's not just one sign. Everybody is having to get really clear on how they want to spend their time in this life, on how they are functioning within it. So let's look, start off with Five of Swords. This card actually came up for your opposing sign of Libra as well, which is really interesting. I love when the opposing signs do that. But Five of Swords. When you just keep pushing yourself and you keep going, you don't really pause to ask how it's making you feel. If it's working for you, you just kind of keep going because you can. And then you start to not be able to distinguish between what is fear, nervousness about growth and excitement, and what is fear based on you really not feeling good about something. Five of Swords kind of represents that disjuncture from being able to hear your true self tell you what you need in order, where your craving, shift, change, growth. So when we lose our self-trust, we stop trusting others. We stop trusting that they're going to be okay because we feel like we can't trust ourselves when we're around others. And 11th house energy is all about our relationships. It's all about our community. So it's something to just look at. It doesn't mean that things are falling apart or that you're going to have to be paranoid all month, but just notice where you feel that disconnect and then take a breath. Take a breath and listen in. The Two of Swords forces us to stop thinking, stop taking action, stop pursuing final results. And I often say this card forces us to sit still for a reason, so that we don't jump to conclusions, so we don't jump to the end before we've seen what we need to see. It forces us to listen to our intuition, this moon in the background, right? She can't see, she can't move, she can't use these intellectual swords to push forward. She's got to slow down, right? She has to find a way to embrace the sitting still in order to open up. And this is the slowdown. But isn't it funny how if you let yourself, especially, these first couple weeks of the month, that retrograde action, it ends on the 20th of the month. And right around the time we hit into Pisces season, we hit into your 12th house, which means we are preparing for your birthdays. So we're going to start getting a little more intuitive here. But right as you relax into that, right as you relax into letting yourself feel what you're really feeling about things, fast forward motion. This is such a great reminder. And even for me, I'm just I need to just screenshot this and just remember this moment as I'm talking to you all, because I think we all need this reminder, which is we think that when we just push, that's when we get the Eight of Wands, right? That's when we get that because the Eight of Wands is all about the swiftness of motion. It's like being in a really fast river and suddenly, you're on your way to your destination. There's no stopping it. All right. It's a very quick energy. We think that by pushing, pursuing, day in, day out, really going, that's how we get into Eight of Wands. Eight of Wands, though, comes about from a space of releasing resistance to our own becoming, right? Releasing resistance to how things need to come in. And so this is where that slow down, take a breath. I'm not trying to get you to be different than who you are. I'm trying to help you activate more of your Aries energy in a way that is nurturing to you over time, right? So that you can be fiery and you can be enjoying the movement forward and you can be playing and having fun and getting in there and trying things. But to do that in a sustainable way that doesn't burn down the whole forest, we've got to take those breaths. So that's what February is doing for you. It's helping you reset a little bit. Now the moon came up last. The big intuitive mama, here she is. And yes, the shadow side of the moon is that we can get caught just howling at the moon and lost in our own kind of intuitive landscape. But I don't really worry about that so much with Aries, because you all will always come out wanting to find a way to move on it, to make something, create something. So when the moon calls on you, This is a time to hear a deeper calling, something that's intimate, that's quiet. And especially as we, like I said, head into Pisces season and that Virgo full moon, these are activating your spiritual connection to your life. So it's your spiritual callings, how you are honoring your spirit as you move through your day and your week, how you are honoring your spiritual gifts. So we come into a really deep point in the year for Aries at the end of this month. Venus and the Sun are going to move over there and ease up some of this. And as Mercury starts to move forward as well, you're going to start to notice you're getting a new call. So this month has a few different flavors for Aries. Now I'm going to pull a final card from my Animal Totem Tarot for you all and just see what any final message wants to come through for February. I am so intrigued by this massive amount of Aquarian energy we are about to have fun with because wow, it's just, I mean, we haven't seen anything like this for so long and nobody in our lifetimes has seen this amount of energy all here. So King of Swords, it's the eagle. Oh my gosh, that is very cool. Okay, let's see what the eagle wants to tell us. It's going to take me a second to flip through this book because it always takes me time. Oh, I think I just missed him. Here we go, King of Swords, the eagle. I can't believe that. I was just talking about that to you guys. Here we go. Have you ever noticed the higher you get, the less there is? Less oxygen, less noise, less greenery, fewer distractions, pretty much less of everything. Get somehow up here above the collection of shiny things. The height gives one space to commune with all things. To strip away that which is of little or no importance and shift the focus on what one really needs to thrive in this world of busy, filled up space and time. Yes, the higher you go, the less there is. But in this lack of things, the true wealth of your divine self will be revealed. Yeah, there's that breath, right? Taking a moment to look around, listen in, hear without all the noise and the pressure of feeling like you have to be actively pushing for the thing you're desiring or wanting, right? And in some cases, even I think reviewing what it is we're pushing for. Do we really want that thing, right? I remember a couple years ago, everybody, you know, in my little corner of the internet and in the work that I do, a lot of people do retreats, which is awesome. And maybe at some point in the future, I'll do like my own version of that. But like, I felt really like pushed to like, I need to like organize a retreat in like Bali and do all of that stuff. And I kept wanting to pursue it. So, you know, I'd like start to get things in line, be like, okay, let's do this. And it just never felt right. It was something I was like pursuing actively. And, you know, it's just not me. You know, it's not, no offense to like anybody who does that at all. It's just not me. And I had to like really stop and be like, why am I pursuing this thing that I think I need to pursue? And that's just one example. I'm sure we all have examples of even things that, you know, it's much smaller things. We think we need to start taking up baking because it seems like it would be a good idea. But do we really want to take up baking? Maybe not. Maybe you do. This is a great time to, when you strip away the noise, when you strip away the doing, when you strip away the pressure, what's really there? What's really there? What is of real importance? You know, what are you also stressing yourself out about this month, the next season, right? That isn't really going to matter even 6 months from now, even 4 months from now, right? By the time we hit July, probably isn't even going to be something that you're going to wake up every morning holding yourself about. This is the time to really get clear about those things, right? Really self-father, self-mother. And I mean that in the healthiest way. You know, like really great self-parenting is going to include saying, honey, that's just something you don't need to worry about today, right? Yeah. So you definitely got a message of like clarity, perspective, and quiet as instruments in moving you forward very quickly, I think, the rest of this year. So keep that in mind as well. It's not just about like sitting in hermit mode for the rest of the year. It's about getting everything in alignment, getting house cleaning, right, in our soul, hygiene, and how we're talking to ourselves, how we're showing up, so that we can move forward fast and fire signs can glow. So I hope you all are taking such good care of yourselves. I'm going to be doing a whole bunch of extra resources over on my Patreon for Aquarius season so that you can get acquainted with it, navigate it. So I'd love to see you over there. Love that little community. You can also find me on my website and on Instagram. I'll leave all of those links in the description box. Love to see you in any of those places. You can also find PinkLune's gorgeous jewelry on her Etsy shop, so I'll leave her link below as well. Have a beautiful February, and I will see you on the other side of this Mercury retrograde and gearing up for Aries season. Exciting.